We're going to learn with Hashem's help a shtickle from the Kuti Levi Yitzchak. What really you push at see, like I heard from coming from his yard side, also it's connected. We should learn from his Torah. The Go'oinus, one of the titles that ever wrote on his father was Hagoin. Hagoin means someone that. So now these days, I think I said a joke over here, or not a joke, a true story. A few days ago, so a few shooting ago, that the Rebbe wrote on someone. The title had a hag. Had a hag is the Rosh Hashanah for Harav Hagoin. Hey Reish Hey Gimel. So the Rebbe wrote his title in a letter to someone. So they asked the Rebbe, this guy's not a God. Like, what are you giving him such a title? So maybe people say it because he's like a shtickle Talmud Chacham, but a God, the literal meaning of a God, the legit, the Bnissin Goin says, is someone that's baki in the whole Shas, in all 60 Mesechtes. He's mamish fluent like crazy. So they told the Rebbe, this guy's not a Goin. Why is the Rebbe writing Harahag? Hey Reish Hey Gimel, Rosh Tevis. So the Rebbe said, if he's a Goin, if he's Taka Goin, so the meaning of the Rosh Tevis is going to be Harav HaGoin. If he's not a Goin, then the meaning of the Rosh Gornisht.
That's what the Rebbe said.
Yeah. Rebbe Amar. Ari Karati, Bechtav Shalav Greenglass.
But why?
The Menachem Zev Greenglass, which wasn't a joker, he said he heard it from Rabbi Groner himself, that this was in the early years.
Is your Rabbi Groner a serious guy?
He was the Rebbe's personal secretary.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it is. But that's next. So the Rebbe whatever you should see the goinus over here. Okay, actually, yeah, when he wanted to get smicha from Reb Chaim Brisker, I said over here on Shabbos, he told him Reb Leivik, Chava, what you put your head into, like you put it into Kabalah at the Chassidus. It said if it would be completely nigla, it would have been whatever.
He should have said back to him the same thing.
To the Chaim, he just smiled. He smiled and that's it.
They were kidding. I really think these
it could be. Yeah.
Very funny conversation.
Obviously, the Chaim Brisker. The only reason why the Rebbe Leivik went to get smicha from Chaim Brisker is because the Rebbe Rashab told him, and he said he's a really Reish Shamayim, Shirei Shamayim B'emes. So he was a really Reish Shamayim. He wasn't the.
To apply for a job. Is it a Rebbe?
Who? The Leivik? No, I don't think that's why.
Only so that the people of the town would take him more seriously.
You say that he has smicha from Chaim Brisker, so
he didn't need it.
You say, you're saying, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But Etzem, he did. It's not like he needed his smicha, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is a long, long letter, a long, deep stuff. His stuff is very, very geschmack. We're gonna do at least a piece. If we have time, we'll whatever. But we're gonna play it by ear, like they say. So this is based on the Gemara. There's a Gemara in Pesachim. It says like this: Toned vei Rabbi Shmuel Schar shleish rishayin zachu. In the merit of 3 things that are called Rishayin, the Jewish people have merited 3 things that are called Rishayin. The Hachar Zari Shal Esav, or the Binyan Beis Hamikdash, or the Shemei Shal Mashiach. What are the 3 things the Jewish people merit to? They merit to destroy the descendants of Esav or Amalek, to the building of the Beis Hamikdash, and the name of Moshiach. These 3 things are all called Rishayin. Beis Hamikdash is called Rishayin. Moshiach is called Rishayin. Okay. Zari shel Esav diksiv yatsa Rishayin ad Beini Chulu. The Esav. Why is Esav called Rishayin? So they destroyed the Rishayin of Esav. That's what it says. Esav. It says Vayetza Rishayin ad Beini. Esav was the firstborn. Down here, he was born first, so he's Rishayin. Okay. The building of the Beis Hamikdash, the building of the Beis Hamikdash is also called Rishayin. Ksiv Kisei Kavod Morei Memei Rishayin Mekayim Mikdashenu. The honorable throne, higher than Rishayin, the place of our Beis Hamikdash. So the Beis Hamikdash is called also Rishon. L'shmei shel Mashiach, and to the name of Mashiach, the Ksiv Rishon L'tzion Hinei Hinam. So this is a pasuk referring to Mashiach, the first person that comes to Tzion in the redemption, and here he is. So this is the name of Mashiach. These are for the merit of three things. We merited three things. So now the Blavik goes in a long arichas on Kabalah, explaining. He starts off explaining that, saying, what's Rishon? Rishon is the level of Keser. That's the first level from all the levels is Rishon. So that's the level of Keser. But in Keser itself, there's three Rishons. So he explains, he goes into a whole arichas. Now with the main, long thing, but the main thing that I want to focus on over here is on the idea of Mashiach, Shmei Shel Mashiach. So he explains like this. Or the Beis Hamikdash also, he says in the merit of Sukkah, which Sukkah is, Vayom HaRishon, V'Sukkah is Teishvu, you have the mitzvah of a Sukkah is the first day, we merited the building of the Beis Hamikdash. So what's the connection of a Sukkah to the Beis Hamikdash? So he explains, in Kesed, he says there's three levels. There's Galgalta, which is, Galgalta means the skull. So that's one level of Rishon, the skull. He says we merited to the building of the Beis Hamikdash. Through a sukkah, we merited the Beis Hamikdash. The Beis Hamikdash is a house. A house is something that surrounds, is a level of makif. It surrounds everything that's inside the house. It's not like food that you eat that gets internalized, like he says, like by Pesach, you eat certain things that come into our pneumius. A house is makif, a sukkah is makif, and the Beis Hamikdash is makif. So in the merit of sukkah, we get the Beis Hamikdash. Now he says both of them, the Beis Hamikdash and the sukkah, are both the level of Galgalta. What's a skull? It surrounds the brain. It surrounds what's inside. That's a level of Kesed. The skull over here is a level of Kesed, a level of a crown which is on top of everything. So through the mitzvah of sukkah, which is makif, which is a surrounding thing, the sukkah surrounds. It's a level of galgalta. It's a level of kesed that surrounds the head, the brain. We merit the Beis Hamikdash, which is also this exact same level. So here, first of all, the Rebbe is explaining the connection, a more direct connection. Why through sukkahs do we get a Beis Hamikdash? What's the connection? Because they're both a house. They're both things that surround. Al Pi Kabalah, they're both the same level of Galgalta, like a skull. Now he says also, Beis Hamikdash nikra gamkin sukkah, k'meshakos v'hi b'shalim sukkah. The Beis Hamikdash itself is also called a sukkah. Like it says, Vayehi b'shalim sukkah, which that pasuk is referring to the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, now he goes to the other idea of Mashiach. And what's the next thing? Okay, the second thing is Alidei b'yom harishon the lulav, through the first day of b'yom harishon, the first day you have to, through the simcha of the first day of Sukkot. And he says the lulav uminav, through the mitzvah of lulav and the daled minim, besides for the lulav, the adasim, the arovis, and the esrik. How he says this is another level in Kesed. There's three levels in Kesed. The next level in Kesed over here that he's mentioning is Pchinas Avira, the level of Avid, ear, which is another type of makif dika, a makif, a surrounding, an abstract level. And he says that's a level of Avid, which that's the idea of Lulav. Like he explains earlier, just to give a little explanation, what's the connection of Avid? He says, what do we do with the lulav? What do we do with the lulav? We shake it in the ear. Why? Why all of these directions? Right, left, up, down, front, back. These are all the different levels in Avid in the ear that we're elevating all the levels of ear. A lulav is very strongly connected to this level of avid of ear. Sukkah is a house. He says it's not like a level of. He says that the lulav, the first day of Sukkah is that we take the lulav and adas baravis and the esrik. She'inin etilas lulav aminav einay b'chinas makiv k'may sukkah. A lulav is not surrounding your whole body. An esrik is not surrounding. You're holding it in your hand. It's not the level of makiv. Ve'einay b'chinas pnimi t'moy achila the pesach matzah morer chulu. It's not either pnimi. What's a lulav? An esrik adas baravis. It's not makiv and it's not pnimi. It's not makiv like a sukkah. It's not surrounding you like a sukkah. And it's not being internalized. It's not going inside you like matzahs. What do we do with the lulav and esrog? We shake the lulav in the ear. We're trying to affect the ear through shaking the lulav, like it says. Why we do all the directions to either to take away bad in Yonim in the Avid and or to elevate it in Kedusha, but it's all connected to Avid. That's this level, this Makiv, or not Makiv, it's a level of Avid. What are we drawing down through shaking the lulav and hadasim and aravis? We're getting the level of das that's in the avid. So in this level of avid, there's a das that's in the avid, and we're drawing that down through shaking the lulav and putting it next to our heart to draw down the das that's in the avid to our heart. I went back. I'm jumping earlier. He says, what's Avid? In Kesed itself, there's two levels. There's Chitzonius, HaKesed, and Pnimis HaKesed. There's the outer level of Kesed and the inner level of Kesed. The outer level of Kesed is called Arich. Arich Anpin. The inner level of Kesed, the deeper level of Kesed, is called Atik Yoimin, Atik. In Atik Yoimin, in Atik itself, there's two levels. There's Chitzonius Atik, the outer level of Atik, and Pnimius Atik, the deeper level in Atik. In Pnimius Atik itself, the highest level of Pnimius Atik is the level called Radlo. What's Radlo? It's a Rashi Tevis Roisha de Lo Yisyada. The head, the highest peak that you don't know, that you can't know. You have Kesed, in Kesed itself, you have Pnimis HaKesed. In Pnimis HaKesed itself, you have Pnimis of Pnimis HaKesed. And in that itself, the highest level is Radlo. And he says, that's the level of Avid. What's Avid? What's the idea of ear that's associated with the mitzvah of Lulav? Is this level of Radlo, Reish de Lo Yisyada. Which this is this very, very high, lofty level.
You say that the mikvah itself is coming out of the air, out of the ruach, because the klipot really only exist within this realm. But the mikvah is a safe haven because it's outside that realm. And in that realm of where the darkness is, you can also reach the highest. The highest light. The highest and the shaking in the air.
So he's saying regarding Lulav, it says, V'arba'a lo yadaitim. 4, I don't know. What's 4? The 4 minimum. There's a pasuk. Arba'a lo yadaitim. What's the 4? The 4 minimum of the Lulav. I don't know. What do you mean I don't know? Because it's this level of Radla, Reish de Lo Yisyada. And he says, that's what the lulav is. Avira, ear, which what's Avira? Reish de Lo Yisyada. V'zeh lo yadaitim. I don't know. I can't grasp the lulav and esrog hadasim and aravis. It's not pnimius. It's not makif. It's not a sukkah that's surrounding you. It's not matzah that you're eating. It's something that has to do with the ear, which that's connected to the deepest level within Pnimis HaKesed. That's what Lulav HaNesrig is. It says, Masha'en Kain, Pesach Matzah Matter that we eat on Pesach, that's 3. Shloisha, we do know. Shloisha Daitim. Arba Lo Yadaitim. 3 I know, 4 I don't know. 3 I know. That's Pesach Matzah Matter. I eat the Karban Pesach. I eat the matzah. I eat the matzah. It goes inside you. Pesach Matzah Matter. Shalem Never Shloisha Heima. Niflo Mimani. Okay, so I'm sorry. 3 it says niflu mimani. Shloisha niflu mimani v'arba lo yadaitim. That's what the pasuk says. 3 were wondrous. What's wondrous? That's in chokhmah stima. Chokhmah, there's a level in chokhmah that's hidden, completely hidden, and that I know. It's niflu mimani, but it's still chokhmah. It's not lo yadaitim. Which that's 4 lo yadaitim, which that's already a ratio to lo yisyada. That's even higher than chachma. Yeah, it's a chesed. No, chachma is under chesed. Chesed then chachma.
Within the Kesser itself, it's not its own level of Chachma.
Each level has everything. Each level is made out of 10, but chesed is its own level, separated from chachma. It's higher than chachma. Chachma is already in your it's understanding. Chachma, chesed is higher than chachma. So Pesach Matzah Matter is chachma stima. It's a hidden level of chachma. Niflu mimani, but it's still not 4. That's totally above and beyond. He says, yeah. So Avida, Radla, which is that's Lulav HaNesrig, is even higher than Pesach Matzah Matter, which is 3. 4 is higher than 3. The Daled Minim is in Radla. Pesach Matzah Matter is in Chochmah. Okay, so now he's getting a little deeper over here. He says, the first day that the pasuk is talking about of shaking the lulav and esrik, b'yom rishon, is referring to the first day of Sukkot. Because Avid, this level of Avid, of Sukkot, is inside Galgalta. What did we say? What's Galgalta? Makif, that's a Sukkah. Within Galgalta itself, you have Avira. Avira is within Galgalta. Within Galgalta. Bli Havsek Kurum. Which means there's no separation really between Galgalta and Avira. Galgalta and Avira are one. There's no Kurum. Kurum, what's a Kurum? Anyone knows what a Kurum is? Kurum is a thin, there's a Shoichet. You have a little thin level, or egg as a Kurum. There's no Kurum between Galgalta and Avira. Galgalta is the first day of Sukkot, which is connected to our Sukkah, right? But there's no separation between the Sukkah and the Lulav. And on the contrary, he brings that according to the Alter Rebbe, you're meant to shake the Lulav within the Sukkah, not just outside the Sukkah, because the Sukkah, Galgalta, and Avira, they're connected. There's no separation. Masha'ekein Chochma, which is already Pesach Matzah 3, there is a separation between Galgalta and Chochma, and the brain. Between the brain and Galgalta, there's a krum, or even more than a krum. Between Chochma and Galgalta, between the brain and the skull, there's a separation. Between Chochma and Kesser, there's a separation. But between the different levels in Kesser, there's no separation between one. There's higher and higher, but there's no Kurum. So it says the Sukkah is Galgalta. What's the Avir? Avir, that's the Avir that's within the Sukkah. That's why who Avir Shabbataycha Galgalta. The Avir that's within the Galgalta. So what's this Avira in a simple level? This is the ear that's within the skull. There's maybe certain hollow places within the skull. In that is this deepest level of Radla. Avira. The sukkah. The sukkah is Galgalta. Within the Galgalta, within the skull, you have Avira. And that's why within the sukkah is where you shake to 4 minutes. Okay. So it comes out, he says like this. Pesach, Sukkah, and the lulav of the 4 minutes. You have Pesach is Chochmah, Stima. Then comes Galgalta of lulav. And then it comes Avira of the Daled Minim. You have the brain, the skull, and the ear within the skull. You have the actual brain inside your head. That's connected to Daled. That's connected Pesach Matzah Morid. You have the skull, which that is the sukkah. The ear within the skull, that is going on the lulav and answering the 4 minutes. And now he explains that's why in the schus of the 3 Rishons, we merited 3 Rishons. He says, to destroy the descendants of Amalek, to the building of the Beis HaMikdash, and to the name of Moshiach. Through the first day of Pesach, we merited to destroy Amalek, which Amalek is called Rishon. Like it says, Esav was the firstborn. How is Esav the firstborn? The source of Esav is from Toihu, which is before Tikkun. And destroying Esav, we're destroying Esav and his descendants, which he comes from the destroying of Toihu. When they destroyed the world of Toihu, many sparks fell. This is all connected to Chochmah Stima. Destroying Esav and destroying Amalek is connected to Chochmah Stima, because Esav is this level of Chochmah. Destroying Esav means that you have Chochmah Stima of Kedusha. Right. So through Chochmah Stima, through our Chochmah Stima, through Pesach Matzah Morid, we destroy the Chochmah Stima of Esav. We destroy the klib of Esav. What's Chochmah Stima? He says this is the level of Gvura and Din. Gvura and Din to destroy Amalek. You need to have Gvura and Din to destroy. You need an army to act in a way of Gvura to destroy Esav and Amalek. Esav is Gvura and Dinim. He's called Admoni, redhead, which that's Gvura. And destroying him is through the Gvura of Kedusha that's within Chochmah Stima. And he says, in more particular, the level of Keser that's within Chochmah. That's the way we destroy Amalek.
Yeah.
And he says that's...
He says that. He say that last piece again. He says it's the
Keser that's within the Chochmah. Within the Chochmah. So there's the Chochmah within the Keser also. What do you say? The Keser that's within the Chochmah. Within Chochmah, there's a level of Keser. That's what's destroying Amalek. Now he says that's why Pesach, they destroyed Pari and his army and all the Makkos that happened on Pesach. All of that that's what Pesach is all about. That level of Moichin Stimin, like we said, Chochmah Stima, that's what's destroying Amalek. Gvura and Din, judgment, Gvura against the Klippa, to destroy the Klippa. That's what Pesach is all about. Through destroying Amalek. Through Pesach, we merit to destroy Amalek. This was why the Golem Mitzrayim and Sodu is going to be in the future redemption from this Galus Edom. Like it says in Nisan, they were redeemed, and in Nisan they will be redeemed. So it's all connected to Nisan. Why Nisan? Because Pesach is Gvura, Din, against the Klippa, which that's the level of Meichin Stima. Then we explained the idea of Sukkah already, that Sukkot is Galgalta, and through Galgalta of a Sukkah, we merit Galgalta of the Beis HaMikdash. Now he's going to explain the name of Moshiach. The third level, which is through the Lulav, We merit Mashiach. Why through the lulav do we merit Mashiach? Mashiach, the Rebbe says, the Leivik says, what is Mashiach? Mashiach is this level of Avid. This level of ear. What's Mashiach? Ruach, wind. That's what Mashiach is, Avid. That's why it says, if you're going to open up a Yeshaya, and it's Gavaldik, what he says over here. When the prophecy about Mashiach, what does it say? V'nocha olav ruach Hashem. It's going to rest upon him, the ruach, the spirit of God. Ruach chochma ubina, ruach eitzah gvura, ruach das vidas Hashem, v'areicha b'yiras Hashem. The pasuk says once, v'nocha olav ruach havaya, ruach chochma ubina, ruach eitzah gvura, ruach das vidas Hashem. Hakol b'chinas ruach. The first, everything is ruach. What's Mashiach? Like in the Bible, it says everything is ruach. Spirit, wind, ear. That's what the Mashiach is all about. I mean, that's why there's so much breath work now. Because we're like, holding by Mashiach time, so everything is in
fresh air.
Fresh air, breathing in, breath work. Some, yeah. Maybe. Could be. Yeah.
That's the big meditation, what's called breath work.
Breath work.
That's why you said that?
But that's really what many Kabalah were using to access certain places. It's a tremendous amount
The
of
air?
breath work, meditation was a very big part of their
Right.
They had very deep
Stuff, right. I mean, it's pointed us, Gedulas Hashem. That says, V'lo yisham al Moshe, b'koytze ruach ha'ma'avodah kosher. They did not listen to Moshe Rabbeinu because they had shortness of breath. They weren't doing breath work. That's why they didn't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu. Rashi says, "Lo kiblu tanachumin." The Jewish, they weren't taking deep breaths. When Moshe Rabbeinu told them, "You guys are getting out of here, you're going out of Golos," they weren't taking deep breaths. And like he says, "Lo kiblu tanachumin." They were just under pressure, and they weren't inhaling in what Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them. They're getting out of Golos. They were shortness of breath. But whatever. That's connection over here, but here where he clearly says, what is Mashiach? Mashiach is the level of the ear. Where is ear found in the chart? That's in Kesed. In Kesed itself, it's in Pnimis HaKesed. In Pnimis HaKesed itself, it's the Pnimis of the Pnimis of Kesed. And that itself is the Rad Law. Roisha Deloy Isyada. That's the very high level, the highest level in Kabbalah, one of the highest levels. Rad Law. The head that you can't know. It's such a high level. And that's the level of ear, and that's the level of lulav. The lulav is all about ear, like we said before. The ear of the sukkah, ear shaking into all the different, to affect the ear. That's what the lulav is. And Mashiach is this level of ear, Reisha Delay Yisyada. Sheshayra Allah, B'chinas Ruach, this level of Ruach is what rests upon Mashiach. Ruach hu avid. Ruach, wind, is avid, is ear. It's the same thing. V'hayinu avira. That's this level of avira. And now he brings a medrash that we mentioned over here the night before Tisha B'av. It says that Moshiach, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, he brings the medrash. When the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, basically, someone knew that Moshiach was born right away. So he asked, where is he? So it says, he brings the message. She went from time to time to ask, how is he going to find his baby that was a Mashiach? I didn't say these details. So he said he's selling handkerchiefs, like baby clothes, to wrap around the baby. Like that, he would figure out, he would access, that was his job business. Like that, he would access all the mothers, and he would figure out which baby was born on Tisha B'Av, and he would know that baby is Mashiach. A Jew went, that doesn't say a name. It says a Jew had a cow, and the cow gored, and he told him Mashiach was born. Right now, when the first time it gored, he knew the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. It gored the second time, but he said Mashiach was born. You know the Medrash I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
An Arab, exactly. No, but the Arab told the Jew that was plowing. So the Jew went around to find I don't remember the name, whatever. Until he was selling at there, there's one mother, she didn't want to buy any handkerchiefs. Says, why don't you want to buy? Says, I have a son that was born. There's a very bad mazel. Why? Because he was born when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. The same time he was born. So she said it's a bad mazel. So I think he told her, no bad mazel, Mrs. Your son is going to build the Beis Hamikdash.
Nice guy.
Not the Arab, the
No,
Jew. The Arab just told the Jew that the Mashiach was born now. So he went to this mother, and she said she doesn't have money, she doesn't want to buy. So he just gave her the handkerchief for free, and she said, he told her, I'm going to come back to pick up my money, to pay back, you'll pay me back. And the Medrash says, he came back a few days later. Let's see, how's his baby doing? How's Moshiach doing? So she told him, he said, I told you he has a bad mazel. He said, right when you left, winds came. I seen ruchin, ruach, winds came. The winds came and picked him up, and he flew with the winds, and he saw this baby flying in the air and flying away. And now she says, I don't know where he is.
Whoa.
So, what do we see from here? Says Reb Leivik, Hainu, Sherucha is Davka Noswes Mashiach. What picked up Mashiach? What took him? It was winds. It was all Ruach. It's all connected to Ruach, the winds. V'hainu Avida B'chinas Ruach. And this is like we said before, that's this level of Avida. Avid means ear, wind. The winds. That is the level of Mashiach. Now in regards to Mashiach, it says that God will make him have the smell of fear of God. And the Gemara explains, what does that mean? The Mashiach will not need to judge by seeing. Mashiach is going to judge by smelling. What's smelling? Smelling the ear. Again, we see again and again, what's Mashiach associated with? There's the ear. And this level of Avira. Now he says, now through the four species of the lulav, through the four meaning of the lulav, esrek, adasim, and anaves, we merit to the four levels of ruach that it says by Mashiach. V'nachol ruach Hashem, ruach chochma, ruach etzek, ruach das, v'yiras Hashem. The pasuk says 4 times the term ruach in regards to Mashiach. The 4 species in the lulav is the same idea as Mashiach. There's 4 levels in Mashiach, which he is ruach, because there's 4 levels of in the lulav, which is also the level of ruach, which is also the level of Mashiach. That's why there's 4 minim in the lulav. Kabalah, it's the Savaya Cholu Das, the Savaya Hanu Das, that Tika Shemavira. That's why it also says in regards to Mashiach, in God, and like we said before, that in Avid, there's this level of Das, that's what we draw down when we shake the lulav. And that's why the world in Avid is the level of Das also. So in Yemaisa Mashiach, what's going to be in Avid, in Yemaisa Mashiach? Malaha'aretz Deya. The world will be filled with Deya. There's Deya within the Avid. The Deya within that level of Vradla.
They say it's a very subtle sense of Das because you see what you hear, what you taste, you taste. But when you smell something related to people, it's a very subtle sense you get when you notice things about people. They say, I smell something's off. I smell something
Right,
good.
that's Das.
It's very subtle Das that only on the deepest level of our senses.
It smells fishy.
The only thing that stays pure is the smell.
It's a smell.
For the most part.
Right.
Everything else is
A
tainted.
lot of depth.
Now look, they must say Ben David, but when will Ben David, when will Mashiach come? When is he going to come? What does the Gemara say? Or the Rebbe Leivik writes, "Ain't no you do. We don't know. We don't know. Why is it this? The coming of Mashiach is like a mystery. It's something we don't know. When is he coming? The God didn't want to reveal the deadline, the date. Now it can't be revealed. Why? For who? Baba Hesachadas. It says Mashiach is going to come by surprise. Why surprise? Hainu ki ba'avida made adla. Because in Avid shines this level of Radla. What's Radla? Radla, like we said before, is that level of Roisha Delo Yisad. It's a Rosh Tevis. Radla is an acronym, the head that you don't know, you can't know. And like we said before, that 4, I don't know. 3 is Chochmah Stima. But 4 is Lo Yadaitim, the Lulav Anesrig, I don't know. The 4 minimum, I don't know. It's all associated with Avid. That's why we don't know when he's going to come. It's something that we can't know, because it's this deepest level within Kesed, which is above our understanding. Or Behesachadas, Mashiach comes Behesachadas, by surprise. What does that mean? Within Avid itself, he's that level of Radlo, the head that you cannot know. So when Mashiach comes, it's going to be like, wow, I don't know. This level is so aloof and above me that it's a surprise. Whatever we're going to think, whatever we're going to know about Mashiach, we're not grasping Mashiach. We're not chopping Mashiach. And whatever, as much as we learn and whatever. And he is this unknown level. That's what he is. So when that level comes and is revealed, that's like, whoa. Whatever it is, it's a surprise.
That can only be revealed once Mashiach is here, or we can get to it beforehand.
So the Rebbe says that's in Chassidus. Radlo, that's what the Rebbe explained. The Rebbe is a deep mimer, and he says Chassidus is, and he says in the Hanukkah candles, is that the Oilish Shal Mashiach, and in Chassidus. Chassidus has that Radlo is within Todas Chassidus. זה הרב לייביק, לומדים רב לייביק. אני לא יודע, עכשיו זה היורצייט שלו, לומדים רב לייביק. Okay, now I'm learning. Okay, weiter. נו. אני כבר התחלתי. אני ראיתי שכמה אנשים ברחו מפה. Listen, the people need to start getting used to it. What am I going to say?
What did I miss?
Huh?
Translation.
He said I should be teaching Chassidus, not Kabalah. I did enough Kabalah. Next.
You did enough.
Okay, let's continue over here.
It's one and the same.
Listen, the Rebbe gave this out. The Rebbe wanted us to learn this. Weiter gegangen.
It's the same river.
Kabalah is considered.
Okay, v'diktuk alosha l'shmei shel Mashiach. What's this precise term that the Gemara says we're going to merit? Not only doesn't say to Mashiach, it says to the name of Mashiach. Why the name of Mashiach? L'shmei dafka v'lo yomer l'Mashiach. It says we're going to merit to the coming of the name of Mashiach. Isn't that weird? I'm waiting for the name of Mashiach. We want the name of Mashiach now. We want. Well, what's the name of Mashiach? Well, Omer the Mashiach or the Bias of Mashiach. It doesn't say either to the coming of Mashiach. It's dafkel the Shmoy Shal Mashiach. What's Shmoy? The Shleimar Kihina Yesh Dalet Shemis the Mashiach. Kedusha Bes Adhead and Naftadik Ches. V'zah Rabbi Mevi. Et Avot as a Paul. The Gemara in Sarad and Ches says there's 4 names for Mashiach. The students of Shiloh said, Shiloh is the name of Mashiach. Like the pasuk says, till Shiloh is going to come. That's a pasuk. You know in Shemay. You know Yishmay Leil b'fnei Shem b'shnei Shemay. Chanina Amri Chanina Shemay Shneimar Asher Le'etel Lachem Chanina. The students of Chanina said, Chanina is the name of Moshiach. Basically, each group of students were saying that the name of Moshiach is the name of their teacher. Those that say Menachem, the son of Chizkiyahu, is the name of Moshiach. Which Menachem ben Chizkiyahu is that baby that was born on Tisha B'Av. His name was Menachem ben Chizkiyahu. There's those that say that he's Mashiach. He's going to come back, whatever it is, and he is the Mashiach. Now, Shneimar, Kirochak Mimeni Menachem Meishiv Nafshi. The Gemara brings the pasuk. Where do we know that Menachem is the name of Mashiach? It says, it was distant from me, Menachem, the one that returns my soul. Now he says, what's this Ben Chizkiah? What is Ben Chizkiah? How is this pasuk, Menachem Meishiv Nafshi, Menachem, that brings back my soul? That proves only that Menachem is the name of Moshiach, but not Ben Chizkiah, the son of Chizkiah. How do you see the son of Chizkiah in that pasuk? Do you see the son of Chizkiah in the pasuk? Menachem Meishiv Nafshi. It just says Menachem. So he says, Shema Kavod, he says, the Rosh Tevis of Menachem Meishiv Nafshi is Mem Nun, which is 130. And Chizkiyahu is 130. The same gematria. The Sofer Tevis of Menachem Meishiv Nafshi is Mem Veis Yud. Mem is 40, Yud is 10, and Veis is 2. So that's 52, and that's Ben. So the Rosh Tevis of Menachem Meishiv Nafshi is Chizkiyahu. The Sofer Tevis of Menachem Meishiv Nafshi is Ben. So he's saying the pasuk is proving not only Pashta Pshat, the way someone would learn it is, that the pasuk is only proving Menachem. The Rebbe's father is saying it's proving also Ben Chizkiyahu. I thought to myself, it's interesting that he's big Madaik over here on the Menachem part. Now, Chizkiyahu is 130. 2 times Chizkiyahu is big Matri Levi Yitzchak.
2 times.
He goes into his name a lot. He goes into Yitzchak.
Gvura, right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that. He doesn't talk about it, but in general, other in the Gvura part. Okay, to see.
He's like the Rebbe, honestly.
Correct.
He's like the Rebbe. We got Rebbe Nachum
Yeah.
right here.
Now we don't.
So hold on, what was last? So Levi Yitzchak was.
Whatever, that's my own addition. It's 2 times Chizkiyahu.
Because he mentioned son of Chizkiyahu
Okay.
and then
So now he's saying over here, so we see there's 4 opinions. Again, 4. Why 4 opinions in what the name of Mashiach is? Why isn't there 10 opinions? What's 4? So he's going to explain how the 4 opinions are connected to 4 levels in Avid, which is in Mashiach, which is connected to Daled Minim of Lulav Esra Gadasam and Aravis. That's what he's going to do right now. Now he's going to explain really how you're telling me there's only 4 names of Mashiach. There's more names. There's a medrash that says the Mashiach's name is Tzemach. So he says really it's not a question because that same medrash says that Tzemach and Menachem is the same gematria. So really it's part of Menachem. There's a opinion in the medrash that says Hashem Shmoy. Hashem's his name. So he says that goes with the same opinion that Yinoin is the name of Mashiach, because Yinoin is one of the names of Hashem, and you're saying that Yinoin is one of the names of Mashiach. So that idea of Hashem Shema and Yinoin Shema are really the same thing.
What's what does that connect to Hashem? Why that one?
I'm not sure, but that it's in Tehillim. The Fnei Shem God revealed in every Jew, Mashiach, and strong or something like that. I don't know.
Based on the premise.
Huh?
Word Yinayin is based on the premise.
Yinoin is like God's name. But basically he's trying to explain really how it's not 10 opinions. It's all really 4 opinions in what's Mashiach's name, because he wants to explain how the 4 opinions are connected to the Lulav Esra Gadasim and Aravis. So even though, like we said in the Medrash, Another opinion says his name is Havaya. Like we said there, that his name is Tzemach, is the same opinion that holds his name is Menachem. The same gematria of Tzemach is the same gematria of Menachem. So really, it's not two opinions. It's still Tzemach and Menachem is the same. Same thing, like the Moshiach explains. Now he says another interesting thing that Rabbanan say that Chivra de Rabbi Shemai, the Metzora of the house of Rebbe is his name. So Rabbi Leivik says that's not an opinion, and that's one of the names of Mashiach. Mashiach has 4 names. This that you're calling him the leper of the house of Rebbe is only a title of his profession, so to speak. Not of his profession, like what he's going through, but that's not a name. Understand? You have a person that he's very sick. She's called a sick person or a Mitzvah. That's not his name. When he was born by his bris, they called him Mitzvah? No. That's when he was born by his bris, they called him Menachem. They called him Shiloi. They called him Yidoi. They called him Chanina. But they didn't call Mitzvah the man. Mitzvah isn't his name. Mitzvah is what he's going through. He's going through Yisurim. This that is called a Mitzvah doesn't mean the opinion that says Mashiach is called a Mitzvah. They're not coming to say that that's one of his names. They're coming to say that that is one of that means that he's suffering with Tzaras. That's it. Because because of Nuga, Muka, like the pasuk says, he has leprosy, he has. And all what he's coming to say is that he is hit. He's hit with tzaras. He's suffering with tzaras. Also based David. Now there's another opinion that says David is his name. Says it Ablavik? No, that's not. There's no opinion that holds that his actual name is David. It means that he comes from the house of David. He's a descendant of David. So basically what Rebbe Leivik is doing over here is narrowing it down to 4 names. Eilu ve'eilu, all opinions are correct. They're all the name of Mashiach. And he says, why? All the 4 names are hinted within the name Mashiach itself. Mashiach itself is the Rosh Teves of the 4 names. The Mem of Mashiach is Menachem. The Shin of Shiloi, Yinoin, the Yud, then Ches, Chanina. So Mashiach is all 4 names. It says he's a descendant from Peretz. Ibnei Peretz. Toldoso Ibnei Peretz. He's a descendant from the children of Peretz. That's why the Gemara says we're going to merit to the name of Mashiach, specifically the name. In the merit of shaking the 4 species. In the lulav, we're going to merit to the name of Mashiach, which has within it 4 levels. 4 for 4. For the 4 minim in the first day of Sukkot will marry to the name of Mashiach, which is also called Rishon. The Shleimar Ismem de Mashiach. Menachem, who Bchinas Yisoid. Now he's going to explain how in Mashiach you have all the spheres. In the word Mashiach. Mem, Shin, Yud, Ches is all the spheres. How? He says the Mem stands for Menachem. That's the level of Yesoid. Ki Yesoid hu ha-Menachem l'malchus. Yesoid is what consoles, consolation, Menachem, yeah? Comforts Malchus. Yesod comforts Malchus. Upirush ben Chizkiah, What's the meaning of the son of Chizkiah? It says Menachem, the son of Chizkiah. Hainu came Mosai Oil Yisoid Malchus. Shemenachem Isa Kadihu Betoikfei Kmeshachashuv B'meira Ein Menachas Eser Ein Chab V'Ain Chab Menachas Boyz Ein Chab V'Zeu Ben Chizkiah Pirish Tekef. How could Yisoid comfort Malchus? It's only when Yisoid is within its full blast, when he's very strong. So Menachem ben Chizkiah, what does it mean, Menachem ben Chizkiah? When could Menachem do the job of Menachem? When could he be a Menachem? Is when he is ben Chizkiah. When he's in a state of Chizkiah. Chizkiah means toikiv, strong, chazak. What's Chizkiah? Chazak Yudkei, the strength of God. So when Menachem is chazak, when he's strong, he can be a Menachem. Yesod could comfort Malchus when he is Ben Chizkiah. What's right on top of Malchus? Yesod. Yesod, when Yesod gives to Malchus, when Yesod comforts Malchus, that is what he's called Menachem. Which that is, this is connected the lulav, which the lulav is the level of Yesod. So mem of Moshiach is Yesod, which that is the lulav. Ois shin, the Moshiach Shiloi. The shin of Moshiach is the name Shiloi, right? Hula neged chesed gvura tiferes. Shin has in it 3 heads, one right, 3 lines, 3 heads. Right, but here he's saying the shin is, he's saying Yesod. Now he's saying it's going on chesed gvura tiferes. The 3 lines in the shin is chesed gvura tiferes. That's connected to 3 adasim, which is also like a shin. Chesed gvura tiferes leaves on each cut. So that's shins. That's the shin of Mashiach. That's Shiloi, right? Ha'ois Yud the Mashiach, the Yud of Mashiach, which is the name Yinoin. Hula neged Malchus. That's connected to Sfiras Malchus, the little dot, because Malchus is a little dot. Ki Malchus hu nekuda achas b'soid shoyrish. K'may ois Yud. Malchus is a source. It's like a shoyrish, a source of something. It's a little dot, like the letter Yud. V'chein im ha'ois Yud. What did we say before? That Yinoin is also the opinion that says Mashiach's name is Yud Kei Vav Kei, Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, which what's Yud Kei Vav Kei. That's Hashem. It's also the same Rashi Tevis for God's name, which is also Hinehu Shem Havaya the Ban the Malchus. So that is Yud Kei Vav Kei. That's within Malchus. Of Ban, that's within Malchus. That's why the pasuk that says Havaya Hashem Tzidkenu. Tzidkenu, righteousness, that's the level of Malchus. Malchus is called righteous. Malchus Hanikra Tzedek. Malchus is called Tzedek. Kamaimar Tzedek Malchus Kadisha. It says Tzedek Malchus Kadisha. Which that is, what's to you? That's the Esrik, which is like a little. That's the Esrik. The Esrik Shalem is al Malchus. The Esrik is hinting on so it's a Malchus. I just don't want the computer to shut off. Huh?
That's Menachem.
Yud, the Yud. That's the Esrik. The
I
Mem.
mean, which name are you talking?
No, Moshiach. The name Moshiach.
I know.
The Yud is Yinoin. Yinoin or Yud Kei Vav Kei. There's 2 opinions. You just put this in the charge over there.
Will relay the Torah on the Yud and the Hey, where the Eloi fill out their own version of Bina.
You know, just you need to move it a little bit, as much as possible.
Computer itself.
Yeah.
And put it on that.